Seattle rains softly on nights when you need it to fall hard. It misted instead, a gray veil over Capitol Hill, beating across the bodega window where I watched my reflection blur, messy bun, eyeliner smudge, guitar case strap carving a diagonal into my shoulder. 28, almost 30, and still measuring weeks in open mics and rent due dates. "I'll take the late-night pour-over, June," Milo said behind the counter, already reaching for the beans he kept for me. "You playing at Vermilion tonight?" "Yeah," I said. "If the sound guy remembers the DI box isn't cursed." He laughed. I didn't. The city hummed bus brakes sighing, distant ferry horns, the neon of a tattoo shop blinking like a heartbeat. Seattle is a loop pedal. Everything repeats, but if you listen closely, something changes each time. I stepped back into the drizzle, coffee cup a small heater in my hand, and cut down the block toward the venue. Inside, the usual crowd skimmed the surface of the stage. College kids, in thrifted leather jackets, couples sharing fries, a woman in a beanie sketching performers in a dot grid notebook. I signed up third and tuned under a cascade of Christmas lights. Even before I played, my head sang something else entirely, the hook I'd written at 2:17 a.m. last Thursday, legs tucked on my kitchen floor, refrigerator purring like an old cat. Neon rain, find me again, in the wake where I learned my name. Stupid rhyme, except it wasn't. It worked. It moved like water, and wanted to be bigger than my apartment. "All right, June Elwood," the host called. "Bring the sad girl magic." Maya slipped in just as I reached the stage and flashed me a grin from beneath her shaggy bangs. She's my drummer when I can afford to book her, my roommate always, and possibly the only person who can tell when I'm about to sabotage myself. "Breathe," she mouthed. I did. The room clicked into place with the first chord, my guitar warm and bell-like, the top E string just shy of angry. I played Low Tide, Hawthorne, a cover of Joni I never admit to loving, and the new one, the one that still tasted like night. People turned their heads on the chorus. A couple at the bar stopped talking. The beanie woman looked up, pen hovering. After, I sold 3 burned CDs out of a cardboard box and pocketed $7 in tips. It should have felt like winning. It felt like holding my breath underwater. Back home, the apartment smelled like rain and old books. Maya kicked off her boots, collapsed on the sagging couch, and reached up a hand that I took without thinking. "How'd it feel?" she asked. "Like it might matter," I said. "Then let it matter." She dozed off to a true crime podcast, headphones crooked, the radiator clanked without rhythm. I set my guitar against the wall, opened my laptop, and checked my email even though hope is a liar past midnight. Nothing from Rafe. Rafe Mercer had arrived in my life the way men like that always do, too casually, as if he were an answer I had already swallowed. He'd seen a clip of me at Barboza that someone posted to TikTok and DM'd me 3 words. "Got something?" I did. He invited me to his studio in Ballard, showed me a wall of analog gear and a neon sign that said "Make mistakes," and told me I had a tone people would type in the comments about. "I'm not promising a rocket," he said, palming a coffee mug that probably cost more than my rent. "But I know a launch pad when I see one." He asked for stems. He asked for scratchy, messy, real, his words. He asked like it was for us. I uploaded the demos to a private folder, labeled them with dates like talismans, and watched the progress bar crawl. Then I waited. 2 weeks. Then 3. He texted once, "Meeting ran long, talk tomorrow?" And tomorrow never arrived. I told myself to stop imagining his silence as strategy. I told myself to stop giving men latitude they hadn't earned. On a tab I wasn't supposed to open, the internet glittered with stories not about me. A friend of a friend got playlisted on Fresh Finds. Another posted studio selfies with a pop girl I'd listened to in the shower. I typed, "Seattle Songwriter Breakout 2025, like a curse and hit enter. That's when I saw it. The thumbnail stopped my breath. A woman in chrome eyeliner and a motorcycle jacket leaning across a cityscape Luna Voss. Not the biggest, but big enough. A mid-tier pop siren with a jawline that sliced light. The title, Neon Wake Luna Voss Prod. R. Mercer Official Audio. For a second I thought I was dreaming. Then I clicked. A swell of distant street noise, a soft inhale. A count whispered at the edge of audibility, 2, 3, like I always do when I forget to cut it. The synth bed spilled in, warm and washed with saturation. And then the melody I wrote on my kitchen floor entered, wearing Luna's voice like a new coat. Neon rain, find me again. Same cadence, same vowel shape on rain. Same gesture in the pre-chorus, where everything lifts like a hand to a throat. I skipped to 213, stomach knotted. There it was. A tiny glitch no one would notice unless they'd recorded it. I had. A cheap plug-in burped on my demo. A stuttering code I hadn't figured out how to fix yet. In the version streaming to hundreds of thousands, it was faint, but present, smoothed yet not erased. My hands shook so hard I set the laptop down on the floor, afraid I would drop it. June? Maya's voice came from the couch, sleepy, worried. What's wrong? Listen, I said, voice too calm. I played it again. I played my own voice memo after the one labeled JW, Neon Wake, 2, 17 am, WAV. A file that sounded like a room with the lights off and one person whispering a secret. She sat up straight. No, 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 no. I sent him the stems, I whispered. He said he wanted to get my timbre right. I sent him everything. I felt my cheeks flame and then go cold. There is a particular humiliation in hearing your own words returned to you costumed as someone else's triumph. It isn't just theft. It's a hollowing. My brain churned through explanations, each one dumber than the last. Maybe it was parallel thought. Maybe Luna had heard me somewhere by accident. Maybe Rafe had, what? Woven inspiration out of the air? No. The count-in was mine. The glitch was mine. Even the bridge progression, my odd little minor 4 detour, sat there like a tattoo I'd forgotten to hide. Comments buzzed beneath the video like a hive. This hook is insane. Luna never misses. Prod credits fire. I clicked the credits open with a fury that was quieter than I expected. Vocals, Luna Voss. Production, R. Mercer. Writing, L. Voss, divided by R. Mercer. I laughed. A small, sharp sound that didn't belong to me. Maya grabbed my shoulders. We're not going to let this slide. We have your session files. You always leave your little fingerprints. The count-in, the glitch, the date-stamped stems. He can't say he wrote it. He already did, I said, pointing to the credit line. They already did. Then we show them. My eyes stung. Rage rose hot, and then settled into something more useful. Not calm, call it clarity. A room prepares itself when you switch on the light. I'm going to make this public, I said. Not a takedown email that gets buried. I'm going to live stream. Sit down with the session. Rebuild the demo from zero, timestamped, live, with my voice notes. People can watch the lyric evolve. They can hear the count-in. They can hear the glitch. Maya's grin was feral. Good. Burn it down. But do it clean. We made tea as the city exhaled around us. I gathered my hard drives like relics, labeled in Sharpie, Tide, Hawthorne, Neon Wake. The project bloomed on screen, blue tracks like lanes on a highway. My voice note from the night I wrote it played tiny through my laptop speakers. It's nothing, it's nothing. It's something. I had even rambled about the imagery, about the way the fairy wake at night looks like handwriting on black water. Things you only say when you think no one will ever hear you. Check your metadata, Maya said over her mug. You always forget you're a nerd. I right-clicked the session file. Created, 2 weeks before Rafe texted me. Modified, the night I sent him stems. I opened the raw bounce. The count-in breathed. The glitch hiccuped. All the ghosts were here. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Maya raised an eyebrow. I muted it. Another buzz. This time, an email popped up on my screen. Subject line screaming in all caps. Notice of infringement, immediate action required. I clicked. A law firm whose name sounded like a pharmaceutical warned me that any defamatory statements about Luna Voss or Mr. Mercer would result in swift legal recourse. They attached a PDF with phrases like, false claims of authorship, and tortious interference. They insinuated that I had been a co-writer, offered fair compensation, who had chosen to eschew good faith negotiations. My chest went hot again. Not fear, fury. They think they can scare you quiet, Maya said. We document. We go live. We let the tape run. I opened OBS, dragged in the window capture for my DAW, and checked the mic level. My hand hovered over the start streaming button, like it was an eject handle. I could see the stream title in my head. Watch me write Neon Wake from scratch, receipts included. Skeptics asking for proof I was about to shove in their faces. I could also see the lawsuit, the stress, the months of being known online for the worst possible reason. Are you sure? Maya asked softly. I'm not sure about anything, I said, but I'm done being quiet. I typed the title. I added tags, number songwriting, number live music, number receipts. The cursor blinked like a pulse. I thought of the kid I was at 15, stacking harmonies in my childhood bedroom, believing that if I sang honestly enough, the world would tell the truth back. The world didn't, so I would. Right as I moved the mouse towards start, a notification slid across my screen from a cloud service I hadn't thought about since I'd sent the stems. Your folder, Neon Wake, stems was modified by Rafe Mercer. 2 files deleted. I froze. The files winked from the folder, like lights going out in an old house. Guitar, stem, 2. Wave. BGVs, take 3. Wave. Gone. I watched the little progress spinner, as if I could stare it into undoing itself. Is he? Maya whispered. I tried to click the activity log. It opened, sluggish, and then not at all. The Wi-Fi icon flickered, like it was thinking about leaving me too. Okay, I said, almost to myself. So we're not just fighting for credit, we're fighting someone who thinks they can erase me in real time. My cursor hovered again. The legal email glared from the other monitor. The folder shivered, another file name dimming. I looked at the mic. I looked at the camera. Time to let the whole city hear the rain, I said, and hit. I hit start. The mic icon glowed red. My DAW filled the screen. Chat flickered alive like a hallway of light switches being slapped on. Hey, what's happening? She's saying Luna stole? Maya slid into the chair beside me, hair still bent from sleep, now operating as my moderator with the focus of a surgeon. She set the chat to slow mode and typed, Welcome. We're going to walk through June's session files together. Respectful questions only. My palms were damp. I lifted the guitar just enough to feel its weight. Hi, I said. I'm June Elwood. I wrote a song called Neon Wake. You've probably heard another version of it today. I'm going to show you how mine was made. My voice trembled on the first sentence and steadied on the second. I dragged the original voice memo into the session. The waveform populated again. Small, honest, stubborn. Time-stamped? February 17th, I said, zooming the metadata until the numbers looked like street addresses. 217 A.M. I was on my kitchen floor. You can hear the refrigerator. I hit play. It was all there. The whisper, the count-in, the first line that arrived like a stranger and stayed like a prayer. Chat's tone changed. The "got receipts" crowd turned into, "Oh, wow," and "that's the same hook." Then, "Who even is Rafe?" I brought up the screen recording I'd made earlier when I noticed the glitch, the tiny hiccup at 2:13 no one else should have known about. Listen, I said, and let the audio pair run back to back. Mine, theirs. Maya's eyes flicked between the chat and my face. You're doing great, she whispered. Keep the receipts coming. I scrolled to the session folder, intending to show the stems. 2 file names were still missing. Okay, I said, and consciously unclenched my jaw. Something weird happened 5 minutes ago. 2 stems were deleted from my cloud. I'm showing you the activity log too. I split the screen. The log looked clinical, like paperwork after a crash. Modified by Rafe Mercer. Chat erupted. You call the cops. Screen record Eve writhing. Lawyers in chat talk to me before you post anything else. Maya pinned a message with our email and a request for anyone with legal expertise to reach out. She also DM'd me a name, Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts, on a sticky note like a spell. I reached for my hard drives. I back everything up, I said, holding one up like a relic. Ballard Studios did not invent my work, my kitchen and my brain did. I plugged in the drive. The familiar directories bloomed. Neon Wake audio stems, archive. There they were. Guitar, stem, 2. WAV. BGVs, take 3. WAV. Not gone, not erased, just waiting. My shoulders dropped a fraction. I imported the stems and played each soloed. Guitar, background vocals. Here's the count-in you heard on the other version. These are my files. Here's the system time. Here's the hash checksum. Here's a new name pinged in chat with a blue checkmark. At Owen Tran. June. I'm a tech reporter at the Pacific Ledger. Watching now. Can confirm we can independently verify your file metadata. Are you open to a call after stream? I'd read Owen before. He wrote about algorithmic scams, NFT collapses, and the time an indie animator got their short ripped into a streaming series without credit. He didn't sound like a vulture, he sounded like a lighthouse. Yes, I said into the mic, then typed it too. Yes, Owen. After stream. Maya DM'd him from our band account so I wouldn't have to juggle, she also whispered. We should get the copyright registration going tonight. Even if you already have the proof, it helps. On it, I said, and meant it. My calendar rearranged in my head until only one thing remained. Keep writing in public until the truth is undeniable. I dragged in an empty synth and started rebuilding the progression from the voice memo. I spoke the decisions out loud, why I chose a washed-out pad, how I rolled off the low end to leave space for the fairy hum, what chords I reached for when the sky outside felt like wet asphalt. People romanticize the bolt of inspiration, I said, but songs are choices. Here's mine. The chat settled into a hum of focus. More blue checks appeared. Other musicians. A lawyer whose bio said, IP litigator, not your lawyer. A songwriter who'd been on a hit I used to loop while cleaning my apartment. Then the tone shifted. A message pinned itself at the top, not by us. Your stream has been flagged for copyright violation. I stared. An auto-generated countdown popped up in the corner. 30, 29, 28. Who flagged it? Maya said, already clicking. R. Mercer Holdings, the notice said. Content, Neon Wake audio. This part of the story was supposed to be infuriating. Instead, I felt strangely calm. Everyone, I said into the mic. If this stream ends suddenly, I'll be back on another platform in 5 minutes, and I'll keep going until they're tired. Maya switched on the mirror stream we'd set up on a second site. She posted the backup link. She posted it again. She looked like a conductor who'd just heard a storm and decided to lean into it. The countdown froze at 11, then disappeared. The flag was under review. I exhaled. Back to it. I layered the pre-chorus harmony and built the bridge, talking through the minor 4 detour, the way I like chords that feel like your heart misses a step on a staircase. Someone in chat wrote, "This feels like watching a crime scene reconstruction but with art." It wasn't wrong, and it wasn't the whole truth. We weren't just reconstructing, we were making something new, on top of the old, proof as architecture. Midway through the second hour, the door buzzer sounded. Maya frowned. You expecting someone? I shook my head. She jogged to the intercom. Hello? A woman's voice filtered up, tinny but clear. Priya, from 4B. Sorry, Owen told me to stop by. He said you might need a digital forensics nerd. I do incident response for a cloud provider. Maya looked at me. I nodded so hard my bun wobbled. Within minutes, Priya stood in our doorway, holding a laptop, covered in stickers that looked like they could all launch a startup. I'm not here as your provider, she said, breathless. But I can show you how to pull a more detailed activity log and lock down your sharing settings so your files stop disappearing. I moved aside. Welcome to the crime scene. She pulled up a terminal window like she was opening a trapdoor beneath our feet and showed us the logs we couldn't see through the vanilla interface. See this? She said, pointing at a series of entries. Looks like whoever has access triggered a delete via API key, not the web. And the IP hops through a familiar hosting provider used by, well, a lot of people, but especially people trying to hide. Can we restore? I asked. Already did, she said, tapping enter. Also, I revoked all third-party tokens. If Rafe had any, they're dead now. I wanted to cry and laugh at the same time. Instead, I put another harmony down and stared at the meter, willing my voice to stay steady. We took a break to drink water. Maya checked email and mouthed. Lawyers wrote back, with a thumbs up. I nodded. My throat ached. I did not stop. The stream timer ticked past 1 hour. All right, I said. Let's do the chorus live, full take. If you're in headphones, turn me up. If you're in bad moods, turn them off, I sang. I put every version of the day into it, the waitress counting tips to a threadbare playlist, the kid reading the liner notes of her imagined future, the woman who just heard her best idea turned into someone else's billboard. When I opened my eyes, chat had gone quiet in the way a group falls silent after witnessing a thing they'll talk about later. The viewer count had spiked into numbers I'd only seen on other people's dreams. A new user appeared. @LunaOfficial. June. Call me. Check your DMs. This isn't what you think. The room tilted. My jaw worked without sound. Maya's eyebrows flew high enough to migrate. Priya looked up from the logs. That account's verified, she said softly. My DMs flashed. A message preview slid across my screen, the kind that would make anyone in my position drop something fragile. I didn't know, it read. He told me it was a top line he commissioned. I want to make this right. Don't go live with the next part. Let's talk. Read it, Maya whispered, but don't get swallowed by it. My cursor hovered over the message. In chat, factions formed instantly. Team take the call. Team don't let her PR you. Team lawyer up. Team burn it down. I could feel the narrative trying to harden around me, another catfight to be memed. Another woman against woman story that lets the man who pulled the wires disappear behind the curtain. I wasn't going to give them that. I'm going to finish this chorus, I said to the mic. Then I'll read my DMs on camera. Transparency buys me more than secrecy ever has. I hit record. The audio clipped for a second and settled. Then the stream cut to black. A new system banner appeared before the darkness swallowed everything. Your stream has been suspended due to a copyright claim from R. Mercer Holdings. The screen went black like someone yanked the cord out of my life. No gentle fade. No buffering wheel, just void. For a beat, I sat frozen, staring at my own reflection in the dark monitor. Then the sound came rushing back in, my heart thudding. Maya cursing softly, Priya muttering something about DMCA overreach. Streams gone? Maya asked, already refreshing. Suspended, I said. My voice sounded flat, alien. Copyright claim. Priya's fingers flew across her keyboard. They used an automated takedown system. Rafe's company probably pre-registered the ISRC for Luna's release. Platforms cave instantly when that hits. Chat was gone, cut mid-sentence, mid-cheer. But my phone was vibrating itself across the desk. Notifications from people who had been watching. Stream cut? Where'd you go? Backup link? Maya grabbed my shoulder. We can go live somewhere else. Now. Not yet, I said. Something had shifted. Not just anger, now something sharper. If I restart, they'll nuke it again. We need protection first. Priya nodded. She's right. You need to file a DMCA counterclaim and register your copyright. Once that's on record, they risk legal exposure if they keep striking you. Maya bit her lip. But that takes time, right? Some, Priya said, but not forever, and we can make noise while it processes. My laptop pinged again an email, fresh and smug. Dear Miss Elwood, we note your recent live broadcast contained unlicensed use of proprietary materials. Further attempts to disseminate defamatory claims will result in legal escalation. We urge you to engage in direct discussion with our team for a swift, amicable resolution. I stared at it until the letters blurred. Maya leaned over. Translation. They're scared. They wouldn't warn you twice if they were confident. Priya added, they know the stream went viral enough to draw journalists. They're trying to get you to fold quietly. My phone buzzed again. Owen, the reporter, saw you got cut. I've already got screenshots and partial stream recording. Want to talk now? I called him. His voice was calm, quick, and full of small pauses, where you could hear the gears of a story turning. June. First, I believe you. Second, I want to run a piece, but I need your permission to use what I have. And I'd like a direct quote about the takedown. People care about artists fighting back against industry theft, especially when the takedown looks like retaliation. My mouth was dry. They're going to sue me if I keep going public. They're bluffing, Owen said. Or, if they're not, they're betting you can't afford a fight. But if you go on record, this isn't just a one-woman story. It becomes a power story. And power stories travel, Maya whispered. Do it. Priya nodded. You've got receipts. The more sunlight, the better. I said yes. Owen promised a draft by morning and told me to forward the legal threats. He wanted the full metadata, the logs Priya had pulled, and the takedown notice. They hate when journalists can prove abuse of the DMCA, he said. When the call ended, I sank into the couch and stared at the ceiling. It should have felt like victory. People believed me, reporters cared, strangers saw the theft. But my stomach felt hollow. I whispered to Maya. What if they still win? She didn't look away. Then you lose loud. That's better than vanishing quiet. The room went still, except for the radiator ticking. I thought about Luna's DM again. I didn't know. If she was telling the truth, she was also a victim, fed a lie by the same man who'd gutted me. But a small voice inside hissed. Or she's covering herself because she saw the stream blow up. I opened the message fully. June, please. I didn't know. He told me it was a top line from a session singer, fully cleared. I just cut the vocal. I'll help you fix this. But let's talk privately before this explodes further. There was a phone number. Maya leaned over my shoulder. You don't owe her a call. She might have leverage, Priya said carefully. If she's willing to go public that Rafe lied, that changes everything. My heart thudded painfully. I imagined Luna's team, PR sharks, brand managers, lawyers. I imagined being coaxed into some NDA with hush money and a ghost credit line buried in liner notes. Maybe we talk, Maya said, softer now. But on your terms, public, recorded. I laughed a small cracked sound. Invite her on a stream? Exactly, Maya said. No backroom deals. If she's sorry, let her say it where people can hear. Before I could decide, my phone buzzed again. This time it was a FaceTime request. From the number Luna had just sent. The screen pulsed with her name. Luna, Voss. We all froze. Maya mouthed, answer? Priya raised an eyebrow but didn't speak. I stared at the phone until the ring almost timed out. Then, hands trembling, I swiped to accept. Her face filled the screen, makeup off, hair pulled into a low bun, a kitchen behind her that looked too clean to cook in. June? She said, tentative, like we might bite. Yes, I swear to you, I didn't know, Luna said, words tumbling. Rafe pitched me the track as a top line from a freelancer. He does that, sometimes brings in writers, buys them out. I thought it was above board. I just cut the vocal. You put your name on the writing credit, I said quietly. She winced. He said we were tweaking it enough. He said you'd been paid. God, I should have asked. I didn't. That's on me. Maya leaned close to the phone. Your team just nuked her stream with DMCA. That on you too? Luna's eyes flickered. That's Rafe. He controls the masters and the label. He's scared. June, if you fight, I'll back you. I'll go on record. But you have to know he'll burn everything. He's done it before. My chest went cold. Before? She nodded slowly. A guy in LA. 3 years ago. He had a chorus I used on my debut. Rafe buried him with lawsuits until he took a buyout and signed an NDA. No one ever knew. Priya's eyes widened. Maya cursed under her breath. Then why help me? I asked. Because watching your stream? Luna's voice cracked just slightly. I saw myself before I sold my soul. And I can't watch him do it again. I wanted to believe her. I also knew this could be damage control. She continued. I'll give you my contracts, the session logs, every email where he claimed he wrote it. But you have to let me release a joint statement with you. If we go separate, he'll paint us as enemies. If we go together, maybe we survive. Maya frowned. Sounds like she wants to co-opt your narrative. Or build a shield, Priya murmured. I sat back, pulse drumming. If I teamed up with Luna, we might expose Rafe completely, take down his pattern of theft. But I risked losing my singular voice to a bigger pop machine. If I stayed solo, I'd be David versus a very litigious Goliath. My phone buzzed again, a text from Owen. Draft. Almost done. Need your stance? Going solo versus with Luna? Press will ask. I looked at Luna on the screen, at Maya and Priya in the room, at the drives humming like quiet proof. I need to think, I said, and hung up before she could argue. Silence fell, heavy as the rain outside. Maya finally whispered, so, lone wolf, or unlikely allies. The cursor on my laptop blinked, waiting for me to choose. I didn't sleep. The rain tapped the window like an impatient drummer while the ceiling blurred above me. Every option hurt in a different way. If I went solo, the story stayed clean. Small indie artist versus industry thief. But Rafe had lawyers and money and algorithms. He'd already proven he'd nuke me digitally. If I joined Luna, I risked being absorbed into her narrative, a duet in a scandal, instead of an author fighting for her own voice. But together, we'd be harder to bury. At 4:17 a.m., I messaged Owen. Not sure yet. Need to see her proof before I commit. He replied instantly, like he never sleeps either. Smart. Get docs. Record everything. Maya woke around 7, hair crushed on one side. Coffee first? Fight later? She offered. I smiled weakly. Fight first. Then coffee. We set up another stream private this time. Invite only to Owen and a handful of watchers Maya trusted from her music law forums. A quiet bunker to keep momentum alive, while the takedown hung over us. Priya patched security holes, muttering about two-factor authentication and access tokens. No more surprise deletions, she promised. By noon, Luna's manager emailed. Luna wants to send over contracts and writing credit correspondence. Need an NDA to protect unreleased material. Maya snorted. Of course they want an NDA. I'll sign one that protects her unreleased stuff, I said, but nothing that gags me about my own song. Priya helped redline the NDA until it looked less like a trap. Luna signed our version, surprisingly fast. Then, the files arrived. Emails between Luna and Rafe. Got a top line from a new girl. I'm claiming 50% writing. Tell her it's work for hire. She's small time, won't fight. A contract template. Blank lines where my name should have been, filled with session vocalist. No signature, no payment. Session logs. My stems listed, then renamed to LV Scratch. I stared at the screen so long my coffee went cold. He knew, Maya whispered. He knew and planned, Priya said flatly. Owen, on our call, sounded almost gleeful. This is a smoking gun. June, this isn't just your fight now. This is a story about predation in the indie scene. If you and Luna both speak, it's explosive. My stomach knotted at the thought of being explosive. I just wanted my name back. But maybe this was how. That afternoon, we invited Luna to join our private call. She looked tired, mascara smudged, sweatshirt hood pulled low. I'm sorry, she said first thing. I should have checked. I wanted a hit so bad I didn't ask who got trampled. I studied her face, trying to decide if regret could look this unpolished. You're willing to go public? I asked. She nodded. But we do it smart. Joint statement, joint interview. We take Rafe's legal fangs out by uniting. He can't pitch us as bitter nobodies if one of us is already on the charts. Maya crossed her arms. He'll still try. He'll call you ungrateful, call June opportunistic. Then we show proof, Luna said. All of it. Every ugly email. Every log. Priya chimed in. And we drop it simultaneously, press, socials, stream. Hit before he can issue takedown #2. I felt the weight of 1,000 small humiliations pressing into this moment. The empty inboxes, the gigs to half-listening bars, the nights whispering lyrics into my phone. All right, I said. We do it. Luna nodded slowly, like she didn't expect me to say yes. Then we plan. The next 24 hours turned into a war room. Owen drafted the article. Indie artist June Elwood accuses producer of theft. Pop star Luna Voss joins fight. We fed him timestamps, logs, emails. Priya helped translate technical proof into plain English. Maya set up a mirrored streaming infrastructure on 3 platforms at once, with backup accounts ready if the first ones got nuked. Luna's PR team shockingly played ball. Her manager seemed rattled by the receipts and wanted her off the sinking ship fast. She'll admit ignorance but stand by June's authorship, the emails read. We'll coordinate timing. It felt surreal. Yesterday, I was a bedroom songwriter. Today, I was in a digital trench with a pop star. The night before launch, I walked alone to Gasworks Park. The Seattle skyline was smeared in mist and neon, the Space Needle blinking like a tired lighthouse. I sat with my guitar and whispered to the dark, "Don't let this kill what I love." Music had always been my safe thing, my truest thing. Now it was a battlefield. Back home, Maya found me tuning absently. "Scared?" she asked. "Yes," I said, but not as scared as I was of staying invisible. She grinned and bumped my shoulder. "That's the spirit." Launch day. We scheduled the stream for 6 p.m. prime time, when both coasts could watch. Owen's article embargo lifted at 5:55. Social media posts from me and Luna dropped at 6 sharp. I wrote Neon Wake. My work was stolen. Tonight with Luna Voss I'm sharing proof and taking back my name. The hashtag number, Neon Wake Truth, began to trend before we even went live. Viewers poured in. Fans, journalists, indie artists, curious strangers. Numbers climbed faster than I could comprehend. I breathed deep. Maya squeezed my hand. Priya watched the firewalls like a hawk. "Ready?" Luna asked through our shared Zoom feed. I nodded. We went live. The chat was a blur. "Oh my god, she's here. Team June. Luna's apologizing? Get Rafe out of here." I started with my story. Short, sharp, no fluff. How I wrote it, sent stems, got ghosted, woke up to theft, played clips, showed logs, showed metadata. Luna followed with her confession that she'd trusted Rafe, been told it was legit, signed credits without checking. She apologized plain, not PR polished, and called what happened industry predation. The room went electric. Then we played the song live together, my guitar, her voice harmonizing with mine. Not as a duet of equals, but as a reclamation. Here's where it came from, and here's who built it. Mid-song, the viewer count broke 100,000. Halfway through, the takedown banner tried to appear, then vanished. Priya whooped off camera. They tried. We blocked the API. "Not today, Rafe." The chat roared. When the song ended, I spoke straight into the camera. "Creators deserve to own what they make. Stop assuming we're too small to fight back." And then I watched the internet do what it does best: spread. By midnight, the article was everywhere. Screenshots of Rafe's emails went viral. Other musicians shared their own horror stories. Lawyers began tweeting offers of help, and then a statement from R. Mercer Holdings. Cold, corporate, but shaking at the edges. "We take these allegations seriously, reviewing our practices. Artist compensation," Luna snorted. Translation, caught. I didn't smile. Not yet. Because one more thing was coming. The part that would either lift me or crush me. My phone buzzed. It was an unknown number again. Maya raised an eyebrow. "Him?" I nodded. The text was short, furious, and oddly desperate. "Stop before you ruin us both. You don't understand what you're starting." The name under the number, Rafe Mercer. I stared at the name like it might bite me. Rafe Mercer. The man who'd smiled in his Ballard studio and told me I had a tone people would type about. Now begging, warning, threatening, all in one text bubble. Maya leaned over. Block him. Priya shook her head. No. Screenshot first. I did. Then my phone rang. Same number. I shouldn't have answered. I did. June. His voice was low, hoarse, not the confident producer from before. We can fix this. Take the stream down. Pull the article, I'll give you credit. Points on the master. Cash. Quietly. You stole my song, I said. He exhaled like I was the unreasonable one. It's not that simple. Songs change hands every day. Demos get cut. Splits get negotiated. I made it a hit. Without me, it's nothing. Without me, it doesn't exist, I said. My voice shook but didn't break. You don't understand the machine you're poking. Labels protect investment. You'll get buried in paperwork until you're broke. Take the deal. I'll make sure Luna keeps your name in interviews. You'll get a writing credit. Maya hissed. He's dangling crumbs. I felt heat rise in my chest. I'm not taking crumbs for my own bread. Think about your future, Rafe said, suddenly softer. You want to be an artist or an activist, because the second one's broke and bitter. I almost laughed. Maybe I'd rather be broke than stolen. Silence. Then a growl of frustration. Fine, burn your career down. But don't think you can burn mine. The line went dead. For a moment, I just sat, phone heavy in my palm. Maya squeezed my shoulder. He's scared. Priya nodded. Scared people bluff and threaten. Keep receipts. We posted the screenshots, his text, his call transcript, redacted only for my own number. Within minutes, number Don't Steal songs joined number Neon Wake Truth on trending lists. Other artists retweeted with fury. By morning, Owen's updated article included Rafe's threats. Major music blogs picked it up. Industry lawyers started subtweeting about the end of silent theft. Then came the call I hadn't expected. A rep from my local PRO performing rights organization. June, we've been contacted by a label interested in signing you directly, your version of Neon Wake, not the stolen one. They want to help push it while the story's hot. My knees nearly buckled. Maya squealed. Priya grinned. Tables, turning. I asked, wary. What's the catch? They want a distribution deal and first option on your next EP, the rep said. But the terms are clean, and they're eager to prove they're on the right side of this fight. I didn't say yes immediately. But I felt the ground shift away from survival, toward possibility. That night, Luna and I streamed one more time, not to show proof, but to sing. We played Neon Wake as it was meant to be. Mine, raw and electric, her adding harmonies like a bridge between two wronged women trying to make something whole. At the end, Luna said publicly, I believed a man who told me my career depended on not asking questions. I won't do that again. Pay the people who make the art you profit from. The chat erupted with hearts and angry emojis at Rafe's name. For the first time in weeks, I felt free. Not safe, not done, but free enough to breathe. Then an email arrived. Our Mercer Holdings has withdrawn its copyright claim against your content. Priya whooped. That's as close to an admission as you'll ever get. The takedown lifted. My original stream returned, now racking up views by the hour. People were studying it like a how-to manual. How to prove authorship, how to fight back. But freedom came with another decision. Luna wanted to re-release the song as a joint single, our names side by side, profits split. The new label offered me a solo release with full control. Maya asked softly, do you want the boost or the independence? I stared at the night sky outside our window. Independence had cost me so much already. But if I wanted to prove something deeper than revenge, if I wanted to live as an artist, not just a cautionary tale, maybe I had to stand alone. I'm putting it out myself, I said finally. My name, my voice, my story. Luna, to her credit, supported the choice. She tweeted, Stream June Elwood's original, Neon Wake, support real authorship. It was messy and complicated and not a fairy tale. But it was mine. The release day felt nothing like the fantasy I'd once had of debut singles. No champagne, no confetti, just me, Maya, Priya, and a pot of burnt coffee in our tiny apartment. We uploaded the mastered track at midnight, June Elwood Neon Wake Original. No glossy cover art, just a photo Maya had taken of me standing under a neon sign, rain in my hair. By morning, it was climbing. Not viral in a pop star way, but steady, relentless. Every article about the theft linked to my version. Every indie musician sharing my story added, "Stream the real one." Fans left comments like, "Found you because of the drama, staying because of the song." Labels reached out again, some dangling big budgets. I turned most down. I wanted a team, not a trap. Luna kept her word, mentioned me in interviews, posted about crediting writers. She wasn't perfect, but she tried. Sometimes we messaged late at night, two women who'd survived the same storm. Rafe? He went quiet. His Instagram comments turned toxic. Rumors swirled about dropped projects, audits, and other artists stepping forward with their own stolen songs. I didn't need to watch him fall. I had a life to build. The legal threat never materialized. Maybe because public opinion was too loud. Maybe because he knew I had enough proof to end him in court. Either way, silence was a kind of surrender. Months passed. The song cracked 1 million streams, not superstardom, but proof. Proof I existed. Proof that art can claw its way back to its maker. One night, after a show at a packed small venue, a girl about my age came up shyly. "I almost quit writing when a producer ripped me off," she said. "Then I found your stream." I stayed. It hit me harder than any chart position ever could. On stage, under cheap-colored lights, I sang Neon Wake again, not with anger this time, but with ownership. The words felt heavier and lighter all at once. I thought about the kitchen floor where it began. The quiet, the rain, the belief that maybe it could matter. It did. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I kept one lesson like a lighthouse. Don't stay silent when someone tries to erase you. Tell your story. Show your receipts. Fight clean, but fight. Because silence is what they count on. And I was done being quiet. The crowd cheered, a low roar that felt like a tide lifting me. I smiled into the mic. "My name's June Elwood," I said. "Thanks for listening to The Real Thing." The applause rolled over me like neon rain.